Greetings, my name is BlueStringer1955. I'm making this video to address some controversy that I've heard about the knife that Freddie Gray was ostensibly carrying, or allegedly carrying. The allegations are that it was a switchblade and or fit within the switchblade statutes of either Maryland and or Baltimore City. Some of the commentary that I've seen or heard has been absolute nonsense. This morning I heard Judge Napolitano, Andrew Napolitano of Fox News, say that a switchblade or a knife that can be flicked with the wrist with one hand and opened are essentially the same, and that they fit under the Baltimore City prohibition on switchblades. That's absolute nonsense. A knife without a spring cannot be a switchblade, period. Both Maryland state and Baltimore City statutes contemplate a spring and or button and or some kind of mechanism being used other than human power to open a switchblade. So Napolitano was just absolutely wrong on that, which kind of blows my mind because I think he's pretty legitimately liberty-minded, and I'm pretty disappointed in his ignorance on that score. But let's talk about what he was talking about. This is a Bradley Alias 1. It's a frame lock knife. There's a frame bar right here that when the knife folds all the way open, that little slot right there is going to lock against the edge of the blade and prevent it from closing. It opens with either your thumb, or you can start it with you can push it with your thumb a little harder and get it to open all the way, or you can start it with your thumb and flick it out with your wrist. It's 100% human powered. There is no spring. The bar that locks it in place is sprung. I mean, it is heat treated to keep tension going towards the inside of the blade. I'll show you where it does that. It does that right there, and then when you push this bar aside, then the blade can start to close. Okay, let's get that one out of the way. That's not a switchblade. There is no way that that is going to fall under any statute having anything to do with a switchblade, because it is 100% human powered. Let's go with the automatic, the actual switchblade. This is a Kershaw model 7000, called the name of it is a Breakout. It has a button right there. It also has a safety, which I never use, which most people that would carry it would probably never use because it just isn't necessary. You know you have a switchblade if you have a switchblade, and the button is pretty stiff, so it's never going to accidentally actuate while it's in my pocket. But anyway, you push a button and it does this. That's a switchblade. Push a button. There's no point at which human power has anything to do with the blade opening. The human power only releases the lock on the spring by pushing the button. This is the assisted opening knife. It's a Kershaw as well. It is a Cyclone large, I think, is what was designated as. They don't make them anymore. It's a Kershaw 1630, if that's the model number, if you're interested. This knife Well, one thing I wanted to show you with the automatic is if I take and open this against something. I want you to watch this carefully now. I'm going to open it against the pad that I have on the table. Okay, now I'm going to pull it away, and we're going to see if the spring continues to apply pressure until it's open. Yes. Okay? That's an automatic knife because it opens automatically no matter what the human is doing. Once the button is pushed, it keeps pushing out to open until it's open. That's an automatic knife. Let's do the same. Well, let me show you how a assisted opener works. Push against this flipper is what it's called. And it does appear very similar to an automatic knife in that there is something pushing it along. You know, some mechanical. There is a spring inside of this handle. There's no doubt about that. But let's look at it closely. If I take and open it partially, it's partially open right now. It doesn't open. Whereas if I release the button, we just saw with the last demonstration, if I release the button on the automatic knife, it's going to open as soon as I let go of it. I can open it a little farther, and it's still not going to open on its own. It has to. All this is doing is going a certain distance, and in most cases, it's somewhere between 15 to 25, maybe 30%. Sometimes on some models, it might be 35% of the travel of this travel before the spring engages. And so all it's doing is speeding up the opening process. It is not opening it automatically. Now let's try the same test where I open it against the pad, and then I'll jerk it away and see if it opens. No, it did not open. It stays halfway open. The spring has already expended all the energy it's ever going to expend on an assisted opener when it's at about 90 degrees like that. Doesn't matter how fast I pull it away. Doesn't matter how shallow. I'll even load the spring back up. I'll push it back up and load it up. It still will not open the knife. There is no way that you can call this an automatic opener. You cannot call this a switchblade. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link to the various state and local statutes, Baltimore City and county statutes, that describe what a switchblade is. And I'm also going to link to a court ruling in Maryland called Bacon v. State that describes a switchblade definitively as one that opens with a push button or a lever or some other mechanism that launches the blade on its own, that allows the spring that is tensioned up inside the handle to exert it, to expend its energy and launch the blade until it's open. And the court ruling, Bacon v. State, describes all other knives besides switchblade and gravity knife, which gravity knife is essentially like a switchblade as far as it opening on its own. You know, it will open under its own power. That is what they're trying to establish with the switchblade definitions. So only a gravity knife and a switchblade have been deemed dangerous weapons under Maryland law, and nothing in the local statute changes that, expounds upon it, or anything else. It doesn't modify that definition at all. And Bacon v. State says that all other knives except for switchblades and gravity knives are considered pen knives under the law and are protected as or are not illegal to own, possess, carry, or anything else, because they're not dangerous weapons under the relevant statute. So I will link to all that. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it. Feel free to comment, and just keep it clean, keep it somewhat respectful. I'm not trying to indict cops. I'm not trying to say Freddie Gray was a great guy or anything. I'm saying he did not have a switchblade, and that's all I'm saying. So you can take it from there. But just anything you comment about, make sure it's respectful. We'll talk to you all later, and take care. Bye-bye.